idea of the perfect date?
We ordered takeout from a restaurant, and then we went to Camp Myra, and we had like a picnic, and then we watched the sunset.
Probably double date. It was pretty fun. We just kind of hung out and went to like the movies and went to a restaurant. It was really nice.
Probably when I went there probably is downtown December or something.
It was either homecoming night or when we went to Lima and we thrifted, and then we went out to eat, and then we got ice cream.
Probably just go do something fun, and then probably just go chill somewhere after.
It'll probably be one that lasts either all day or like most of the day. So we like started in the afternoon, and we could like get lunch together and then go do something, and then make dinner together at home and watch a movie or something.
We go to a nice dinner, have a candlelit dinner. After the dinner, go on a nice long walk on the beach. When the sun sets, just watch the stars, fall asleep, have a campfire.
I'm going on a road trip to different states.
I went to this guy's house to hang out, and he talked about my best friend the entire time.
The first day I ever went on, and I almost broke my ankle just from walking. It was stupid.
Actually, two guys, different guys. I went to one guy's house and he talked about my sister the whole time, and the other guy actually called me Alex.
We didn't go anywhere, we just talked.
We went to Marysville and we ate. The whole time we were basically arguing.
Okay, so I asked this girl to homecoming and I wanted it to be a date. And then she was like, okay, we're going as friends. And I was like, okay, whatever. I get to her best friend's house and we wait there for like an hour and she's nowhere to be seen. And then she finally arrives and it's gotten dark now. So we have to take homecoming pictures by headlights from their car. And then we get in the car and the entire time they just make fun of how big my feet are. So we get to homecoming and immediately she disappears. And that's it.
Before I met my lovely trophy wife, I went to go pick up this girl that I referred to as Jenny Big Hair, because then it was really big. Like, hair was really big. Girl's hair, not so much mine. When I got to her door, first date, I knocked at the door, the screen door. Her dog comes up, big fat dog, looked like a water heater on legs. Comes up, sniffs around, you know how dogs are, because dogs love me. And as her mom opens the door, I feel warm fluid going into my shoe. True story. The dog had hiked its leg and was going on the side of my leg. This is horrible, horrible. And no, it gets worse. Her mom's like, I still want you to take out my daughter, which makes her sound like very desperate. She goes, gets her brother's pants for me to put on so I can continue with this date.
Right now is a really crazy time down in guidance. We have a lot of big stuff going on. One of the big things is working on the master schedule for next year and getting you guys all put in classes. So those will be coming out in a couple of weeks. So get excited for that. If you are a senior, you're obviously not going to be getting a schedule, but make sure that you're still working hard on scholarships and also working on these What Are Your E-cards. So please, if you have these, fill it out and get it turned in. Also, make sure you check your email and fill out the Google Doc that you fill in what your E is on there. That's going to be for an event called Signing Day at the end of the year that we're really excited about. So make sure you get your information for that. Also, the Career Expo is coming up at the end of the month for juniors and seniors. So if you have not already, turn in your folder with your resume, your applications, and your references to guidance or to Mr. Reppergle if you're in CCR class. And you can come see us if you have any questions on those things.
Mr. Rogers has recently invited Jim Jordan to our school to speak to his government students. Jim Jordan was raised in Champaign County, Ohio, graduating from Graham High School in 1982, where he was a 4-time state champion in wrestling with a career record of 150-1. He went on to earn a bachelor's degree in economics from the University of Wisconsin, where he was a 2-time NCAA wrestling champion. He earned a master's degree in education from The Ohio State University and a law degree from Capital University. Mr. Jordan served in the Ohio House of Representatives from 1995 to 2000 and the Ohio State Senate from 2001 to 2007. Mr. Jordan is a current member of the U.S. House of Representatives, where he has represented us in Ohio's 4th Congressional District since 2007. Mr. Jordan, everybody.
There he is. Now your chance to yell at your congressman, ask any questions you want, exercise your First Amendment liberties, and speak out. And who is first? No, I don't necessarily think the numbers. I just think it's time to get back to normal. The previous administration put in place tariffs, which is basically a tax on goods coming from that country into our nation. I don't always agree with tariffs, but I certainly agree with what President Trump did to get after China for a number of reasons. Things they're doing in international trade, things they're doing with intellectual property, and of course the virus itself, which started in their country. The point is, yeah, there were all these protests, and you had thousands of people in the streets. Many of them didn't have masks. We never did protest and screaming, yelling, doing all kinds of other violent things. At the same time, we weren't allowed to people weren't allowed to run their business, meet with the family, go to the nursing home, see their mother or father. So it's this double standard. And so what states can do is put in place laws like we have in Ohio, where we have a limited amount of time that you can do early mail-in absentee voting, 30 days. And when you go to vote, you actually have to let to make sure we have integrity in our elections, you have to show an ID and you have to sign. So you got a signature match, kind of signature verification, and a photo ID when you vote, so that we actually know when it's Mrs. Smith coming to vote, this is the Mrs. Smith who lives on 121 Johnson Street and da-da-da-da-da.
How do you feel about the political climate in our country right now?
You know, it's divided, and I wish President Biden said at his inauguration, he said he would like to unify the country. And I said, I hope we can. If there's truly some things that we can work with the Democrats that are for the good of the nation, I'm all for it. It's really tough to work with Democrats when they don't want to work with us and they're doing radical things that, frankly, President Biden didn't even campaign on.
How would you feel about congressmen having a limited amount of time to serve?
Term limits? No, I'm all for it. I've been for it forever. Way back when I first got in politics, I supported the term limit idea for here in Ohio, and we have it. And I'm for it for the federal government, but you need a constitutional amendment to do it. So that takes a little while, but if it'd be in place, I'd be for it.
What is your reaction to the Congress overriding Governor DeWine's veto for SB 22?
No, that was a great move. That's a win for freedom. Senator Huffman deserves the credit for that. I mean, that doesn't happen if Senate President Matt Huffman doesn't lead the way. But that's a win for we the people, because you want your elected officials closest to the people, the ones that we directly elect. You want them making decisions, not bureaucrats in the executive branch.
Give another round of applause for Representative Jim Jordan.
The art show this year is going to be online, just like last year. So, myself and a fellow student of mine, Braden Barth, have taken the opportunity of the art show being online to be student photographers for everybody's artwork. So it will be displayed on the Indian Lake School's Facebook page, thanks to Jamie Ross. A lot of students are very disappointed about the art show this year. With us being in school, they were really hoping for it to be in person again, even if it wasn't countywide. But these are their opinions. And I even went and talked to the art teacher, Mrs. Dukowitz, and the graphic design and CAD teacher, Mr. Stanford.
I'm happy that we're having it. Wish it could be in person, but beggars can't be choosers.
I want everyone to see my beautiful paintings in person and tell me how great they are.
I want an in-person art show. I think it's dumb.
I personally don't like it. I kind of like the in-person art show more.
I like the in-person art show more because I'm sure that we could have a band performing this year.
I like it better in person because like there's going to be more people who see it rather than online. But you know, if your art gets out there, then it is what it is.
I'm happy that we're having it, but I'd much rather it be in person. I wish it was in person too, because like we have sports in person, so.
When I found that out, I was a little disappointed. It's a good opportunity to kind of display some of the talent that we have here at Indian Lake in the arts and the music department. You know, we'll do our best to try to highlight some of the student work that's been created. Online's probably not the same experience as if you actually get to be there in person to kind of take it all in, and parents get a chance to see some of the work that their students have done. We get a chance to kind of reward and kind of highlight some of the exceptional work that's done in the art room and graphic design, and then I know they do some stuff with in the music department as well. But we'll do the best we can to make the online experience as high quality as we can possibly make it, but I don't feel like it's going to be the same.
So this year we're not doing an in-person art show, we're doing a digital art show like we did last year. I am a little upset that we can't do an in-person art show. I think that's the best time for students to display their work. A lot of students have their parents, their grandparents, a lot of people in their lives get to finally see their work on display as if it were like an art gallery. So I think it's a really important time, and I am sad that the Art 4 class this year isn't able to like help set up the art show, which is a really fun part of being an advanced art student. But you know, we still get our work seen, and we're probably going to have more viewers online anyway, so it's kind of a blessing and a curse.
Hey, it's springtime. You know what that means? It's prom season. Do you have a cute girl that you would just love to ask to prom but don't know how? Allow my chum, Dylan Rice, to masterfully show you how to ask someone to prom.
Hey, watch, this is really hard. Hey, do you want to go to prom with me?
No. Lakers, have you been proposed to before?
No.
I haven't. I haven't been proposed to either.
Yes.
Yes, sophomore year.
And yes, basically every year.
How should you ask someone to prom?
I prefer a promposal.
Just ask straight up.
Yeah, just ask. I don't need it to be a big scene.
I mean, promposals are fine. A lot of people treat it like it's a big deal. I don't think it is, but like, it's fun sometimes.
I don't really have a preference. I don't have one either.
Now let's find out what some of our students' favorite proposals have been.
Anything involving food, I think that's a good option. Yeah, I think food is probably the best way to ask somebody, because at least it's not just you're going home with a poster board.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A nugs, that might be a good way to ask if you need advice.
You can't say no if it's Chick-fil-A nugs.
Brandon had me put together a puzzle, and it was a picture of us like dancing in the background, and said I wouldn't rather dance with anybody else at prom, and asked me if I'd go to prom with him.
My favorite way to do it is like a surprise. You just kind of walk up with a sign and then, ta-da!
My date sophomore year asked me using a friend's reference.
And mine was that Saturday was for me instead of the boys.
How will you ask your sweetheart to prom this year? And most importantly, make sure to ask Mr. Rogers how to properly dance at prom.
What we want out of kids at prom is to follow the dance rules. It's a time in your life when you start to want to be around that special somebody. And when you dance, you want to dance fingertip to fingertip, okay? With a lot of space in between, a lot of space, for various reasons. One, because you don't want your dress to get all bunched up. One of you might be perspiring profusely because of your nerves. And that is how you will dance, just like that at prom. You want to be able to throw a cat in between people that's upset.